who I think is it vice president or vice chair? I've had two different vice president, I was correct, of the board of directors for the Canadian Lesbian and Gay Archives. He's worked on a number of committees, including organizing the grand opening of this beautiful permanent restored location, which I think opened in 2009. It's absolutely a place to die for. He retired from his baking business of 30 years in 2005 and spent the next 3 years volunteering in community organizations with a focus on revitalization of the waterfront lands in the city of Toronto. And I would just love to have him come up and talk about this beautiful building.
My particular piece is going to be very short because Miriam said everything. The archives is a mirror image of her story. We started from a few things and we have grown to be one of the world's largest independent gay and lesbian and queer archives in the world. And by independent, I mean we don't have any independent source of funds. There's no government funding on a full-time basis. And so that's a really significant mark. We are celebrating our 40th anniversary. And this house is not all of our collection. We've got more than half of our collection is stored at Church and Wellesley, and we have to bring the stuff here for people to do the research. So the things that Miriam was talking about in terms of the kinds of things, we are also a museum as well as all the documents. The people whose faces you see in the pictures, there are approximately half of our National Portrait collection. These are people who have made significant contributions to the LGBT community over the years, and we've honored them by nominating them into our National Portrait collection. But we are so proud and so pleased to have you here as our guests and for this fundraiser, because we feel in many ways that this is a sister organization, and we're very interested in supporting and being connected to and partnering with other organizations who have equal things to say to the world. And just as you want to make the world know about your history of dance, there's a lot of queer history also in dance. And that's why this exhibition is so valuable to us, and we're just over the moon that it's going to continue until April. So if you know people who want to come to the show, they've got lots of opportunity between now and the 1st of April to see it. There will be other kinds of events that will happen here where we will be publicizing, so just keep track of us on our website, clga.ca, www.clga. Just look up a Canadian lesbian, you'll find it. And I'm going to stop right now because you don't necessarily want to hear to a lot of talking heads, but thank you so much for coming. It's a great joy to have you here.
We have a wonderful breadth of people here tonight, and we have, very luckily, we have the counselor for this ward, Councillor Kristen Wong-Tam, who's Ward 27, Centre Toronto and Rosedale. And she has a wide expanse of interests. She's been a champion for the expansion of green public spaces and farmers markets and community gardens, improvements to parks and ravines. She's led efforts to defend the rights of tenants to obtain affordable rental housing, and created a neighborhood association to preserve and protect heritage buildings, something that George Rusti would be very much involved with, and historical landscapes in the ward. Prior to being elected to City Council in 2010, Councillor Wong-Tam was an accomplished real estate professional, and for us, so importantly, a great supporter of the arts. She has curated installations for Nova Scotia's Nuit Blanche and is a principal of a Toronto-based company for contemporary fine arts. In addition to her city appointments to numerous boards and agencies, she's also a board member of the University of Toronto Arts Centre and the business chair at the Toronto Workforce Innovation Group. we welcome Councillor Wong.
I think I have to update that bio.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure it was taken off the website.
yes.
So I'm Kristen Longtam, and it's actually a real thrill to be here in the home of the Canadian Lesbian and Gay Archives, but also to celebrate dance collection dance. For a whole host of reasons, I think this is a really important exhibition. You know, lesbian and gay, bisexual, transgender stories are rarely told at the best of times. And when we do get those stories out, sometimes it's in film, oftentimes it's in books, through poetry or what have you, but it's rarely is it told through dance and the choreography of dance. And what could be more exciting than the expression of sexual liberation or sexual equality or just the sensuality of the human body in full movement and flight, all the raw power that exists and everything else in between. So for those reasons, I'm really glad that this collection is here. I think that you know, this group of wonderful people who've assembled here tonight, you are the stewards and the vanguard of this particular genre. We don't often celebrate dance as much as I think we do with respect to film, video, and that's a real shame, and it's to our detriment as a city. If we want to be a city that's going to have a spirited cultural sector, then we need to celebrate all our cultural producers and in every single form and medium that they take. We are working on a project, and I'm going to just sort of do a little plug. We're working on a project to bring arts and culture into the downtown east of Toronto. And sometimes the challenge for us is the security of space. Just as much as when we met in 2011, we were talking about the absence of space, an affordable space, and space that's accessible, that you can actually exhibit things properly. And especially if you're a museum, then you have to have climate control and all those other things, as my friend Francisco would know from his experience at the ROM. We have 14,000 square feet of new space that we have secured at the corner of Jarvis and Dundas. The space should be ready in about 5 years. On the second floor of this particular space, if you envision the Garden Hilton Hotel, so that's coming down, and up will rise a new tower. But at the base of this condominium, there will be 20-foot ceilings on the second floor, and we intend to build a new theater. Capacity anywhere from 200 to 300 for live performance. It include dance and theater and readings and what have you. So we want you to be part of that experience, because we don't have an end user, which is unusual, because usually we have the user if we don't have space. We have the opposite problem this time. Our new challenge is that we will have space without the end user. So we're looking for collaborators, we're looking for theater companies, we're looking for dance collection companies to step forward and say, you want to be a part of this. And I think that there's probably room for 4 or 5 companies to co-locate and share the space. And the ceiling heights are 20 feet tall, so you can jump as high as you want. Do, you know, circus arts and play. There is lots of room for that. So I welcome your participation, and I wish you continued success. This work that you do, I know you're not necessarily getting very wealthy from it. You know, I've been in the arts myself. And there's things that you just do because it's important. And there's the things that you do is because of your heart and your passion. And I know that, you know, there have been a lot of breakthroughs in dance. And when I think of some of my favorite dancers, one of them comes to mind is Isadora Duncan, who broke all sorts of molds at that time when you could not break molds. And she said, I think she was probably a conscious choice, or it was an energy that was with her, she could not contain it, and she released it in the ways that she did, whether it's for performance or the way she lived her life. You know, that is the kind of inspirational artist that I think of when I think of contemporary dancers. And I think each and every single one of the dancers who are in this room, and those who support the dancers through collaboration as arts administrators, hopefully the spirit of Isadora will live in all of us.
Mm.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.